Oh, finally. Go then. Go then. Hmm? That's love. I'm glad to see you smile.
December 11, 2023, Hoffman, North Carolina. Richmond County deputies respond to a domestic disturbance at 185 McCoy Drive. According to police reports, 38-year-old Kenesha Neely tells officers her husband, Moses Maurice Neely, had been drinking, turned violent, struck her several times, and trapped her in the bedroom. During a struggle over her handgun, the weapon discharged and hit him in the upper thigh. Deputies transported him for treatment, and upon discharge charged him with second-degree kidnapping, assault on a female, and interfering with emergency communications. Because of the domestic violence nature of the case, he was initially held without bond, and then came the decision at the center of this episode. Days later, after surviving a life-threatening night, Kenesha walked into court, posted his $3,000 bond, and brought him back home. That choice changed everything. To understand how a decision like that happens, we have to know who she was, and what led her to believe this story still had a happy ending. Before we get too deep, hit the like button, share your take in the comment, and tap subscribe with the bell, so you never miss the next episode of Deranged Women. Kenesha Miranda Harrison was born March 25, 1986, and built stability the hard way. Certified nursing assistant, a business administration degree, a homeowner, and newly licensed as a bail bonds agent. She was proudest of being a devoted mother to 3 girls. This was not someone without options. Late 2019, a message arrived from behind prison walls. The sender, Moses Neely, serving a 12-year sentence for assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, plus firearm by felon charges. His record stretched back to the 1990s, probation revocations, resisting arrest, assault, robbery with a dangerous weapon. It wasn't one mistake, it was a pattern. From custody he performed transformation. He improvised dates over video, sent money for little outings, and invested hours into promises and attention. With no job, no errands, no competing obligations, he could script an ideal partner. The courtship deepened through long calls, regular visits, and grand gestures. He proposed. After initially refusing, she accepted, and on December 17, 2021, they married inside a correctional facility. Here is the first crucial fork in the road, a deliberate commitment to a man still serving time for serious violence. She chose to read the setting as proof of devotion, not a warning. The public declarations grew. She celebrated milestones online, framed difficulty as loyalty, and cast him as a positive force in her life, even as he remained incarcerated. She even arranged a personalized celebrity greeting praising him as a great man and a father figure, despite no biological ties to her children. By Father's Day 2022, she was calling him a protector and planning a 5-night Atlantic City getaway for his release. September 12, 2022, he came home. Civilian life was not kind, sharing responsibilities, contributing financially, adapting to the needs of children. These basic adjustments strained the relationship. Neighbors heard arguments. Still, she posted glowing tributes on their first anniversary, minimizing cracks as normal growing pains.
Chicks be like, oh, he with her? And he is. Been with me, still with me, tatted me, forever we. Finna come get me. You can't sleep at night.
I ain't about you. Ain't your hard to go home. Ain't that what they call it?
Late 2022 brought a pregnancy, then a loss. She reaffirmed the relationship anyway. By early 2024, she was pregnant again and immediately high risk with preeclampsia. On June 23, 2024, she delivered at 30 weeks. The newborn, Kamari, stayed in the NICU for over a month.
Now do the veggie dance. Now do the veggie dance. Now do the veggie dance. Come on. Yum, yum, eat 'em up. Yum, yum, eat 'em up. Hold on, baby, take your hand out and get out rub belly. I love my bitch.
When the baby finally came home July 24th, joy collided with stress, sleepless nights, older kids to care for, and a partner whose behavior grew more controlling and erratic. Now returned to December. According to reports, heavy drinking preceded the assault that ended with a gunshot wound to his thigh and felony charges. The system intervened, and then came her second crucial fork in the road. She paid to free the man she had just shot in self-defense and invited him back. Why would anyone do that? Years of psychological pressure had reframed reality. He had persuaded her that his outbursts were reactions to her, that if she loved better and supported more, he would become the redeemed partner he'd promised to be. Instead of reading the incident as proof of danger, she internalized blame. Instead of accepting the arrest as protection, she treated it as an obstacle to overcome. Online, the performance of happiness resumed. For 8 months, the temperature inside that home climbed. Arguments became frequent. Objects broke. Her public messages pressed harder on optimism. Privately, relatives would later say she talked about divorce and began planning to end it. For him, losing her meant losing housing, stability, and his post-prison lifeline. Sunday, August 4th, 2024. A neighbor saw her outside with the baby in the morning. Another noticed him pacing, agitated. The argument reignited around midday. She arranged childcare for Kamari. Her older girls were already with family, a timing that would spare them. After dropping off the baby, she sat in her car for a long moment, then went inside. Neighbors heard her set a boundary. "It's over, you need to leave." Multiple 911 calls reported gunshots. Deputies arrived to silence, cleared the house, forced the locked master bedroom door, and then heard a final shot. Inside, they found both Kenesha and Moses. 9 days later, the community gathered for her funeral. She was laid to rest near the home where she'd tried to end the cycle. 3 children were left without their mother. This case belongs on Deranged Women, not because she was a perpetrator of violence. She wasn't, but because her choices illustrate a kind of self-destructive decision-making that viewers struggle to understand. Choice by choice, she invested in a man with a long violent record and recast that pattern as romance and reform. Publicly elevated him into her children's lives before he had earned trust. Reframed abuse as loyalty tests and insisted love could neutralize risk. After a life-threatening incident, paid his bond and restored access to herself and her home. performed were fine online while the situation degraded in private. These are the decisions we analyze here, not to shame a victim but to dissect how belief, image management and sunk costs can push someone into choices that many would call irrational, deranged even when the danger is obvious. If you're in a relationship where love is measured by how much harm you can survive, that isn't devotion, it's a warning. Patterns predict outcomes. Boundaries protect lives. Remember, danger can wear a friendly face. Stay aware, look out for others, and reach out if you need help. See you in the next case on Deranged Women. Thanks for watching.